Hey guys, this is Kelly Houston. For those of you who don't know me, I am a registered dietitian. I help work with people to eat in a way that gives them tons of energy, minimizes shame and guilt, and so just helping them live their best life with food. Today I want to talk about meal planning. It's funny how through my different phases and seasons of life, meal planning has really changed a lot. So over the last 13 years when my husband and I were living on our own together, just the two of us adults, not very picky eaters, things were a lot different than they are now with 3 kids. So a few years ago when I was in my dietetic internship, that meant that I was gone for about 12 hours of the day between clinical hours and class. It actually worked out pretty great. My husband was doing a kind of standard business hours type of job. So he was making dinner most nights, usually kind of the standard American dinner, protein, veggie, starch. When we would shop during that year, and then even our first year or two after we had our oldest child, we used a really basic form of meal planning. So basically I would just type out the different protein sources that we would use often, starches and vegetables, and I just kind of go across. So for example, like one meal might be beef bread, like a roll maybe or something like that, and broccoli, and then the next meal would be chicken, rice, and zucchini, and then we would just kind of go across like that. So then eventually we'd get down here and it would be beef and corn and peppers. And then chicken, bread, and mixed vegetables. And we would just kind of go like that, and we would be able to plan our meals out that way. So that worked really well during that time. And during that time as well, which was really fun as my oldest daughter was starting to eat her first foods, we were part of a produce co-op. And so each week the organizers would send out recipe ideas that correlated with the produce provided for the week. And that was a great way to try new foods, especially for my daughter. And it introduced us to one of our favorite pasta dishes by the Pioneer woman with leeks. So now we cook with leeks all the time. Before we did this, I had no idea even how to prepare leeks at all. So now with 3 kids, things are a lot more hectic between my husband and my work schedules, picking up the kids, activities for our oldest daughter. We needed something different that would give us structure and not be too confining, and also, things that we could change around if something came up and we weren't able to make that originally planned meal. So before I went on maternity leave over the summer, I came up with a system that seemed to work pretty well so far. So I just went to PowerPoint and I made a 6-week spreadsheet. And just based on our usual schedules for the different nights of the week, I was able to come up with, on here, the original plan was 4 to 5 meals each week, but we found that really 3 to 4, usually 3 meals most week, is really all we need to plan for. Because, leftovers, dining out, just random things that come up and then screw up the dinner plans. So that's really helped to decrease our food budget, more money for holiday expenses, which is nice, and decrease our food waste as well. So our current meal plan is a mixture between my husband and my favorite dishes, like that Pioneer Woman pasta with pancetta and leeks, and then a few of the kids' favorites like pizza or chicken strips thrown in as well. So I stay tuned in the next couple months. In January, I'm planning to do a lot more with picky eating and kids there. So now that I have the main dishes kind of accounted for, I just add a veggie. It could be whatever looks good at the store, or we can use frozen. And then a starch. I always keep just frozen dinner rolls in the freezer for when we need those. They're an easy, tasty thing to turn to. Or in a pinch, we could use crackers or just anything really. So now that a main dish is accounted for, so we just add the veggie and starch and we're good to go. Sometimes we can add a fruit as well if we, for whatever reason, didn't have a vegetable or it went bad or whatever things happen. So we definitely can use fruit either in addition to or instead of a vegetable or starch. It can kind of go either way. So that's what we're doing for meals now. So things may change as the third kiddo in our family starts to eat solid foods, and so we're maybe going to be expanding his palate and doing a little more meatballs, things that are easy for him to hold and chew and swallow himself. That's it for me for today. Thanks for listening. I'd love to hear any of your meal planning tips and ideas or struggles also that I could address in a further video. So do you have a plan for every night, or do you just wing it? So thanks so much for listening. And if you are getting tired of having a crummy relationship with food and your body, and you feel like you're always out of energy, or you're doing all these things nutrition-wise and you're just not getting results, you're just tired and labs are all a mess and all sorts of things, then get in contact with me and we will come up with a plan to maximize your energy and help you live your best life with food. Thanks so much, guys. Bye-bye.